When we got a grant of 1 crore from the government, and we had to compete with Pidilite. So it was in 3 months, our funds were over, and we put posters everywhere. And I think I should have planned my strategy of using the funds properly.
Okay.
Where I should have known the market more, set up the distribution channel, and then pumped in the money.
Hello. For this episode of the CEO's Chair, we have a young woman leader with us today, a management graduate from the Imperial College of London and the Swedish Institute of Management. She is the Managing Director and CEO of SAV Chemicals. Ankita Shroff, welcome to the CEO's Chair.
Thank you, Siddharth.
So Ankita, at such a young age, you managed to establish a very successful business. You've got about 35 employees, you've got a turnover of over 10 crores within 4 years of starting your business. And I must say, you wear the responsibility very, very lightly on your shoulders. How do you manage that?
I think the journey has been wonderful.
Okay.
Over the past 4 years, I've learned so much because I've come up with across a lot of challenges.
Of course.
And tackling those challenges has been wonderful, a learning experience. I think in the 4 years, we've become profitable this year, and we are reinvesting the money to allow us set up and to get into the international market as well. So it feels really nice.
Good, and I love your positivity, Ankita, as well.
Honestly, it's not that difficult because if you are aware of what you're talking and if you're confident, then it's an easy game.
Okay.
So I think the men in the boardroom are the one who supported me, respected me to what I am here today. So it's not about being a male-dominant industry. So if you know what you're doing and if you are well-read or know your matter, I think you can pass this. I think it's about being confident, knowing your product well, and the desire to learn and keep, facing challenges.
Absolutely.
I think it's positivity. I think if you really want to learn something, you can achieve it.
Great. Very happy to hear that.
I think we all go through failures, right?
Very true.
But you have to keep coming from them, learn from them, and keep trying to grow better as an individual every day. Okay, just to tell you about my product. So SAV Chemicals manufactures a brand called Max Bond. So we're in the manufacturing of instant adhesives.
Max Bond.
Yeah, Max Bond.
Got it.
So what is the thing that comes to your mind when we talk about adhesives? Can you think of a brand?
Fevikwik, Pidilite.
Oh, that's absolutely right. So when you're competing with a synonym in the market, it's really a tough challenge. So our main aim was to start off with retail initially. And when you're competing with a Fevikwik equivalent brand, it was very difficult to sustain. So we pumped up a lot of money in marketing. We put up hoardings all across the city. We did radio ads, but we did not have the right distribution channels. So the biggest problem, or where we were stuck, was setting up the distribution channel. So this was one of the biggest challenges initially to set up. And there were a lot more, right? From setting up a manufacturing unit, it's not as easy. The amount of licenses that I needed were like 21. So it was funny, actually. I wrote a letter to Narendra Modi, to our Prime Minister, stating, so we're talking about Make in India.
Of course.
But here we need 21, 22 licenses just to, get you started. So I think the journey has been pretty challenging, but it's a lot of learning as well.
I'm sure. And did he actually respond to the letter that you wrote to him?
Yes, he did. So it was funny. So, we always crib about, oh, this is not good, that's not good. But I think if you give a solution, so when I wrote the letter, I wrote about the solution, that how can we automate the processes of getting licenses, of setting up a manufacturing setup. So he replied that, could you come help us and present my presentation of my solution to the entire board and how we can help in automating the systems.
Wow.
So it was wonderful.
And you actually ended up going to Delhi and doing the presentation?
I sent the presentation. I was traveling that time, so I could not,
of course,
meet the Prime Minister, but it was, I could communicate with them.
That's an amazing step, and just the fact that you got a response and there was something done about it,
yes,
I think is really inspirational for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think a lot of things have changed over the last 3-4 years as well.
Okay.
Niti Aayog is working towards it, and
True.
people, there are a lot of, even to get licenses now, it's much easier. Well, it's always a challenge, but I think it's improved. I think systems have changed.
True.
It's moving towards a positive trend. Things are moving faster. So I feel like, for example, GST was the best thing that's happened for us in the manufacturing sector.
Okay.
Earlier we had excise, we had to deal with so many taxes, but it's kind of, so there was out-of-state CST. So there were so many other taxes that we had to deal with. With GST, things have become easier, like the laws and taxes have.
Good, I'm very glad to hear that, because of course, we hear so many one-sided views on the media where people are either completely for it or they're completely against it.
Yeah.
But for somebody who's actually in the trenches like you are and learning and dealing with it on a daily basis, I'm glad to hear that it's actually been a help.
Thank you, thank you. So if you look at the chemicals market, it's a huge market. You need adhesives, let it be in the auto industry or in the construction sector, or there's so many sectors you need adhesives. So we thought of why not enter the industrial segment so that it's a sustainable growth.
Okay.
Because again, there is issues such as credit period, there are funds flow that have a problem when it comes to the retail market. Again, you need funds for retail. So we're now focusing mainly on industrial, and we're doing OEM for other countries.
Okay.
So that's kind of sustaining our business. And it's better to go slow and steady rather than just try and create a brand, because a brand is going to need time to be created.
Absolutely.
And that's what we want to be, financially sustainable, and then try to infuse the funds in creating a brand.
And how has the response been from some of the vendors that you work with, or some of the clients that you have?
It's been wonderful. Like, we are supplying to maybe Paragon Chappals in the shoe industry, or big, vendors of Bajaj, Maruti.
Okay.
So it has been a very positive response.
Okay.
While the conversion takes time for industrial, but it is at least, a bigger volume and a better way to go about it.
And I think what's unique about the Indian market is that they take their time to get to know whether you're in it for the long term,
right,
or are you just going to be in and out for a year and a half if things work out or not.
Wow, I think balance is the key for everything.
Okay.
Well, you have to work, but I'm really passionate about playing my sport, that's badminton, or doing yoga.
Very nice.
Or I love music, so that's, you could kind of play the piano when I'm free.
What kind of music do you listen to?
Well, it's English classics. So I think I've grown up with Beatles and John Denver. So
very nice.
That's because of my dad. But I love music, so it could be, anything. So, but I enjoy the old classics. It's Norway. The Scandinavian countries. I think Sweden and Norway are the most. So I believe travel is not just exploring the place, but learning while you're traveling. So my experiences in Norway and Sweden have been about learning about sustainability. How can we make this world a better place to live in?
True.
And it's amazing how they're working on, electronic vehicles. And so I think Sweden and Norway have been an inspiration. They're beautiful and also a learning.
And I think they truly display that every single person can make a difference.
Absolutely.
It doesn't always have to be a team or an organization or a government that is making the change.
True.
The accountability is very important.
Absolutely. Well, I really don't know what's the biggest, because every day you're learning, you want to try and achieve something better and bigger.
True.
But I think in my own business, I think I've kind of, I don't know, I have or I haven't, but creating an impact has been something which I'm very happy about. Making a difference. Let it be women entrepreneurs in the manufacturing sector where people have come to me and, can you help me in how do you set up? So that is what really I think I'm happy to say, that I've tried to create an impact on other people's life. And even in my company, we're about 60% women. So that's the biggest not an achievement, but I'm proud to say that I can employ more women in the company.
Absolutely.
And you're kind of encouraging and empowering other women to do better.
No, I'm so happy that you mentioned that, because it's all about, I mean, the new generation is all about breaking stereotypes.
Yeah.
Just because it's been a certain way for so long doesn't mean that it is the best way moving forward.
Absolutely.
And you truly are a role model and an inspiration for a lot of people, whether you know it or not.
Thank you.
I would obviously like to encourage more women CEOs, more women founders to come forward.
Right.
And if you've done it, truthfully, you need to believe in yourself first before you expect somebody else to believe in you.
Yeah, I think there were 2 instances that I can think of right now.
Okay.
When we got a grant of $1 crore from the government, and we had to compete with Pidilite. So it was in 3 months, our funds were over, and we put posters everywhere. And I think I should have planned my strategy of using the funds properly.
Okay.
Where I should have known the market more, set up the distribution channel, and then pumped in the money.
Correct.
And the other thing was, I think I was naive when it came to a lot of government taxes, for example. It could be a customs duty where we didn't know how things to operate, so we got a penalty, which is obviously not the best way to go about it when you're starting up. So these were the things I wish I was more aware, and I could go back and just speak to the right consultants, because it's all it's kind of the network who you're dealing with as well. If you have the right people on board, you can actually grow better. So it's all about the teamwork. For me, I call it the circus of my life.
Okay.
So CIRCUS. And C is consistency.
Okay.
And you got to be disciplined and consistent in whatever you do. Let it be when you're working out. If you're not consistent, you're not going to go ahead.
True.
I think initiation, you got to roll out. We keep planning and thinking and dreaming. But unless you don't roll out, you don't know how the game is, right? So you have to not be scared. Don't fear anybody, because you got to be confident and try to roll out yourself, I feel.
Got it.
So that's reflect. I think we all make mistakes. In every journey, people go through ups and downs. And if we don't reflect on the downtimes and our failures and try to improve, it's not going to be easy. So you have to reflect on whatever you're doing. I think utilization of network and opportunity was my biggest, what I am today is because I've looked up at opportunities and tried to use them properly, right?
Absolutely.
Even SAV is actually, it's just an opportunity that came by. I never knew whether it was going to be real estate or, some tech company, but I was always passionate about manufacturing. I met people, and this was an opportunity. I was like, why not? Why not adhesives? Why not chemicals? And the last one, I think, is socialize, meet people, learn from them, and speak to them. Because the more you learn from others, you know more about the world and you grow as a person. So that's the circus of my life.
That's an amazing analogy. And typically when people think of circus, they think of chaos. But you've managed to put it in such a great way where it's actually inspirational.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, for all the people that are watching, all the ladies that are trying to get into their own business, think of it as a circus of your life, not only chaos, but also inspiration. Thank you, Ankita.
Thank you.
As a small gesture of appreciation, we have a box of chocolates for you from Pvt.
Thank you so much.
We wish you continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.